change. Based on what you guys put on your note card, I'm going to have a workshop today to clear up some misconceptions, but also a couple of you, I think you knew what you were saying, but the way it translated, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. So in 10 minutes, I'm going to call people for a workshop. Today, we are continuing with what benchmark are we on? 2. We're on benchmark 2. So make sure that you're using your rubrics. And on benchmark 2, my group managers, you are delegating who is researching what. Everyone is putting that into your Google Doc. Whenever you put something in your Google Doc, what do? Initial. Initial works, I can give you credit for it when I look at it tonight. Do you guys have any questions? No. Benchmark 2, right? No. Okay, I've got library books here. This stack. Not this stack. That's for next week. This stack of library books. We've got science sources. We've got our STAR resource. We have enough computers today for everybody to have one. And if you have a question, you need to let me know right away. Got it? If I am in the middle of a workshop and you have a question, what should you do? Wait till we're finished? Good, Jojo. If I'm in the middle of a workshop and you have a question, please ask your group first. If no one in your group is sure, maybe ask a neighbor, but please wait for me to finish up with the workshop. I promise it won't be very long at all, and then I'll come straight to you. What? Or write it down on the board. Yeah, you can write it on the board if you want. No problem. Well, I think it's a difference if you have a request for a workshop versus if you just have a question. Okay, you ready? Go ahead and log on to Google Docs. You kind of had the right idea, but you weren't quite using the words that you need to use whenever you're describing why this is important. Okay? Do you guys know what a misconception is? Yeah, it's when you have the wrong idea. A misconception is like when you think you know what's going on because it makes sense, but it's not actually quite right when it comes to the science behind it.
It's like one of those moments, it sounded better on one.
Yeah. So a common misconception about the seasons is that if I turn the sun on, that if this side's having summer, then this side of the earth is having winter. Why is that a misconception?
Because that's not how it works. Because,
no, keep going, you're right. That's not how it works. Tell me why though.
Because
Feel free to add in.
Because the other side pretty much also has summer, but it's like when we're having summer, we each have 2 seasons per year. Like half and half per year. Like we have summer and spring, I think, for half a year, and then the other half is different.
Okay, so there's 4 seasons total, but you're saying it's split up by what splits the seasons? The equator. So you've got opposite seasons going on. So when someone says it's summer on this side and it's winter on this side because it's not facing the earth, the reason that that is wrong is because in 24 hours, the earth is going to completely rotate one time.
It's like,
so does that mean that we've got summer right now, and then in 12 hours we're going to have winter, and then 12 hours later we're going to have summer again, and then 12 hours later we're going to have winter? No. That's showing us daytime and nighttime. Okay? So let's talk about specifically the seasons. That's why we have our daytime and nighttime. When it comes to the seasons, look at the United States. Look, we're receiving direct sunlight right now. That means that our days are going to be long and hot. Okay? If you look here, South America, they're still having daytime at the same time that we are. But what's different about where they're located? It's not direct sunlight. It's getting indirect rays, and therefore they're going to have winter time right now. That's why it's opposite. Well, it depends, because around the equator, it's always going to be pretty warm, because it's very central to the sun rays. But I'm talking about South America down here, how they're going to be having winter because it's indirect sunlight rays. Does that make sense? Working? Let's fast forward 6 months, okay? I'm going to spin this over here, and that's going to represent 6 months passing. So here we're going to have our spring. The direct sunlight is going to be near the equator. Northern, southern hemisphere, they're going to have pretty mild, similar seasons. They're going to have spring and fall. All right, so now we're getting into winter. So let's look at the United States. Okay, fast forward 7. So right now we've got the United States up here, and if we are in December, what season are we having? Winter time, because the sunlight we receive is not as direct in direct. What season is South America having? What about the south side of Africa? What kind of season are they having? What about Australia? Remember, we're talking about everything in the southern hemisphere is having the exact same season right now. So if it's in the southern hemisphere, it's having summer. And if it's in the northern hemisphere with us, we're going to be having winter at this point.
At the beginning of our project, she gives us a rubric, and then while they are on the workshop, we look at our benchmarks. Right now we're on benchmark 2, and it's kind of our to-do list that we have to answer.
So what are you doing today?
I am answering all these. Right now I'm on this one, and I have to answer how is the temperature over there, and where I'm studying, which is not even that. I have to say the temperature of the sea and all.